And we're going live on Facebook. Everybody who's got a shirt on, pull that shirt to the camera. Look at that. 100 millionaires inspire to build 100 millionaires. Let them know how we do it. That's right. Welcome back to the 52 Weeks to Wealth. My name is Walter Murillo. We've been traveling through these 52 weeks for 27 weeks. We are now on wealth principle number 27, which is steadiness of your faith. Now, if you're looking to become a millionaire, you want to get super rich, this is the call to be on. Hands can if you want to make more money this year, you want to double your income. Hell yeah. If you want to do it with less work, keep that hand up. Hands can if you want to do it with less work or almost no work. Man, what are we, crazy? We must be lazy. They don't understand outside of this community that it is possible. The harder you work, the harder money runs away from you. The harder you chase money, the harder it runs. And so it's not about working hard, it's about working smart. It's not about working for long hours, it's working in the right task, doing the right things. And a lot of problems with the right things, actually, let me go live on Instagram and TikTok. We got to get this right. Bam. 1, 2, 3. Welcome back to Wealth Principle 27, Steadiness of Your Faith. We're here to build millionaires. Hands to camera again if you're committed to becoming a millionaire, if that is your goal. Excellent. If I said that in any other room, people would get freaked out. They say, no way, I don't want to be a millionaire. Money is evil. Who has heard money is evil? Root of all evil, right? It's not just evil. It's not as bad. It's like all the bad. It's the root. The truth is that money is just paper from trees. Now, people have told you before. Who's ever told you money doesn't grow on trees? You've heard this? Bullshit. It does. It actually does grow on trees. And then they print it where they put all these presidents on. The presidents aren't even alive anymore. Why are we revering these guys who are no longer in existence? They're not even running for campaign, and yet we're still promoting them. Hands can if you notice, that's kind of funny. It's a little strange. Yeah. All right. So that's how our government works. The idea behind steadiness of your faith and why it becomes so important at Wealth Principle 27 is because we've now tipped over halfway through the year of our wealth building process. Principles like think a million or build a business that can be worth $1 million are already in the past. Our marketing businesses, our 80-20 principle towards sales and marketing, those are in the past. And now we've gotten to a point where business is cranking along. Hence, if your business is cranking along more than it was at the beginning of the year in the first 26 wealth principles. Awesome. That is because you've taken massive action each week. Now, in this principle, we're going to take a lot of what you've already done and crunch it together into a focused layer, a laser beam. And Scam, if you know, one of the wealth principles is hyper focus. It's coming up. It's still on the other half of this. Another one of the wealth principles is number 33, which is we build our business to sell our business and get rich. This principle is misunderstood by most people, not just outside of our community. Even within Alchemist Nation, there are still people who are like, but I don't know why I would sell my business. I want to keep it. It's because a business doesn't last forever. A business will eventually fall apart. Who here knows the average business lasts 7 years? It is a 7-year process for big boom bust. Businesses that last beyond that have already been sold and have new CEOs. If you look at the richest people on the planet, they have sold most of their business. When Bezos went and got his divorce, he only owned 17% or 19%. And then in the divorce, he lost 7% to his wife. In fact, Elon Musk owns less than 20% of Tesla. And there have been times where he owned even less than that. He just had some options where he could purchase more back. Hence, if you're aware that billionaires sold most of their businesses. In fact, when Elon sold Zip2, his first business, he only had $22 million from a $100 million sale. That means he owned, actually it was more than $100 million sale, but he only took away about $22 million from that sale because his ownership was significantly less. So I want you to keep in mind, as we're talking about steadfastness of faith, the goal is to sell the business at some point in the future. The goal is to let somebody else take on a lot of the responsibility, to bring on a lot of the capital and to pay you out for the hard work that you've done over the years that you've been building your business. Steadfastness of faith. I want to refer back to how long this takes. It takes 3 to 5 years to become a millionaire. Hence, if you're committed to being it that long. Yes. Guess what? It takes 3 to 5 years. If you're already a millionaire, it takes 3 to 5 years to get to that deca millionaire status, that 10 millions. For some of you, you're aiming at the 5, you're already at the 5. Now that takes time to go and double, but to go from 5 to 10, it only takes about 1 year. Hence, can't recognize we can double our net worth. It's very simple. Once you've done it, once you've gotten to a certain point, doubling it is the same amount of work as doubling 2 million is the same amount of work as it has been to double 100,000. Has anybody ever struggled doubling 10,000? That seems to be the number where most people start realizing a little resistance, right? It's pretty easy to double $1, right? Just go get another dollar. Everybody seems to have those. But as you get a little more increased in income, increased in dollar amount, we start realizing there's a little bit of friction up here. It's not that the world is giving us friction. It's just that we're not properly moving through the world. Who knows, if you do the right thing the right way at the right time, you'll always get the right result. Hands in the camera if you know that's true. If you do the right thing, you might want to write this down. This was an affirmation for me for the last 10 years. I always do the right thing the right way at the right time. This was on my board in my office. I'd walk in, I had blue and green and black, and it would just pop out. Each one of the words was a different color so that I could see in my head that right was always green, right? Whatever I like, when I looked at the board, it was right was always green. So do the right was green, right? The right thing. It's not about doing things. It's not about being busy. I keep hearing people like, oh man, how have you been? You look so busy. And like, the first thing I say to you is don't ever call me busy. Don't say that to me, please. I'm productive. I'm extremely productive. A lot of things are going on around me because of me, swirling around. You must be like clear that this is not about busyness. This is about doing the right thing to get rich, to get wealthy, to buy real estate, to cash flow, to build your business, to buy businesses, right? To invest in things that are going to accumulate more net worth, more assets, more gains. Who here likes paying capital gains, right? Like I prefer capital gains over active income, right? I don't like paying any taxes, but if I was going to pay a tax, it'd be capital gains. Hands can if you understand, it's way better, right? I'd rather pay passive income tax versus active income tax. It's a very, very different situation. So when I do a principle like steadiness of your faith, I'm very cautious about just jumping into it because a lot of people watch these calls outside of our community on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, and they're watching and saying, okay, what does faith have to do with becoming a millionaire? So I had to prelude a lot of this with technical skill. I told Dorena this morning, I said, I almost don't want to teach this principle to strangers because they're not going to grasp that this is how millionaires are built. It's up here, right? It's the mindset that we walk out into the world, that we communicate. By the way, we make our money from communication with other people. Everything that you want is in the hands of others, right? If you want to build a great business, Elon Musk, Tesla has 100,000 employees. He's not doing it alone. He had to go get a whole bunch of other able-bodied, able-minded people who had skills, who had resources, and who had the time to go and do the work that needs to be done. Hands can for catching this, right? You will need other people. In order, the more money you want to make, the more people you're going to need. And there's a rule behind it. If you want to make $100,000, you can do that alone. Sure, I could show you how to do that. That's a little bit of doing a little more right stuff than you're doing right now, right? If you're only making 50,000, just do a little more right things, and you can actually get yourself to 100,000 pretty easily. To get to $250,000, that's about as high as I've ever seen a single individual producer get without starting to involve themselves with other people. $500,000 income, I'm talking income per year, requires a team. It does require bringing on 1 or 2 people to support, and sometimes more than that, to get you to that next level. The million, I don't know a single person who is actively earning $1 million a year who is doing it without a team of people around them. Hands to the camera if you've also noticed that. It seems like those high income earners have a team around them. And so there are some mindset skills that have to be acquired in order to level up to get to the next level, which is why at the 100 Millionaire Summit, my VIPs have requested an extra day of training for just team building, for just scaling up that business, creating culture. Like my high level players are talking about culture. They're talking about, like, why is it that people come into work and they do a certain thing, act a certain way, speak a certain way? They're talking about culture, how to create an experience so that when an employee comes in, they work with the same passion as the owner. Hands to camera if you recognize that's the only way to scale is to create a culture. It's really about getting the building to train people to move in a certain way, getting the online dashboard they're working in to get them to move and think a certain way. The words that are said by the manager gets them thinking and moving in a certain way. So these are things that only the high level players actually need, because you can get to 100,000 or a quarter million by yourself. Hands can if we understand that's not enough. Hello, give yourselves a round of applause. We are in the right room. All right, steadiness of faith. Everything I'm telling you right now is to remind you that there's a process to this. Everything I just shared, that there are people making that money. There are people still doing it right now in a recession. There are people still investing and buying and building businesses and buying and building real estate right now in this time. And people are doing it even better and even easier. We're now investing in deals that we've never had access to before. By the way, becoming an accredited investor gives you access to deals that you've never had access to before. Many of the people in our community now have access to invest in investments that they didn't have previously because they weren't a millionaire. They weren't a accredited investor. Once you become accredited, you get open to things like syndications. You get open to any basic private business that a person is selling shares of, you now have access to. Hands can if you want access. Excellent. That's why I'm on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. I want more people to have access. And I also want access to their capital. When I got a sweet, smoking hot deal that I want a few more friends in. Hence, can't you recognize the more people you serve, the more people will be able to serve and help you when it comes down to doing a really cool deal. So think about that as you're going through your life. Can I help more people? Can I build more millionaires? Can I serve more? Every day you wake up, you are faced with yourself, the other side of yourself, that ego, the thing that you built over the years, who's protecting you, serving you, making sure that when your kids are crying, you just automatically go over, pick them up. Or when you go to pour that bowl of cereal, like the milk just goes in the bowl. Like, how does that work? It's because your subconscious mind's always working back there. So don't get rid of the ego. We need that thing to operate. But we do have to train it a little bit to be a little more faithful, a little more steadfast in our goals, in our dreams, in our ambitions. When we go through a day, shit kind of happens. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes we don't want it to happen the way it happens because we're aiming so hard, we're pushing so hard, and we're seeking a very specific goal. And so for steadfastness of faith, to get into this right, I want you to write down your goal on a piece of paper, just like we do exercises every single week so you can apply it and get it working for you. I'm going to walk you through the 5 steps of being more steadfast, of not giving up when things go a little sideways, when things get a little difficult. Hands to the camera if this would be valuable for you and your business right now. If you want to stay committed to doubling your income, you want to stay committed to doubling your net worth. Awesome. This is a tool that I only obviously have the ability to give to you. Anybody who's not here on this call is missing out on this opportunity. There's only 47 of you. Fortunately, I do know that Facebook will put this out and about another 1,000 eyeballs will be on it. But that's, to me, just the beginning. I believe that your experience of this wealth principle, your moving forward in the world with this wealth principle will have an even greater impact than just me teaching it to you. Does that make sense? Other people will see your faith, will see your activities and what you produce by sticking to it. Excellent. So number 1 is a deepening of your understanding of what faith is. You have to have a true belief, a true gathering of knowledge around what faith actually is. Faith is the belief in something unseen. Who here's ever experienced fear? Has anybody ever been afraid of something? That is a manifestation of faith. You in your mind are like, shit could go wrong, right? And then like there's a chance. And then you feel like anxiety, you feel like sweating and nervousness. That is actual faith that things could go wrong. The more intense that emotion gets, the more real that faith gets. Has anybody ever felt that? Could you like feeling it right now? Remember, like, whoa, shit, I do remember that. That's pretty real. So shift that over to a state of another powerful form of faith, gratitude. When you know, like you just know for sure that it is yours, like the thing in your life, the person in your life, the experience in your life, you own it. It's yours all the way. Nobody could ever take that away from you, right? Like this laptop or the cell phone right in front of you, right now, you're just like, I know this will be here 5 minutes from now, right? You have absolute faith in the device in front of you, right? You know that it's going to continue streaming. And if for whatever reason it stops streaming, you would be like mind blown. Like, what happened? You know, is the internet company down? Did somebody unplug the router? Who needs to die right now? You will start a war over this stuff. And if you've ever freaked out when the internet went down in a moment that was so powerful for you. Absolutely. That's the power of faith, right? That's the power of knowing, like absolute knowledge that a thing is occurring for you. what I found with successful people is they just have this powerful faith. They have this powerful belief that who they are, what they're building is worth building. And so having this deep understanding of what it is, and that the next four are going to be really valuable now that you have grasped that there are emotions that you're already experiencing to have powerful, deep faith around it. Hence, Karen, if this is helpful, we're understanding now what faith actually is. Maybe a deeper understanding than we've ever had before. Simple stories go a long way. 2, develop deep convictions. You must develop deep convictions. And, well, the easiest way to say this is to have faith, to have deep faith means to have a deep conviction or belief that there are realities beyond what we can see. But they have been seen in our minds. If you've seen it in your mind, then it is a reality. The potentiality is there. The only thing you must do in order to manifest is reach out and take it. Now, that comes in the form of putting in offers. That comes in the form of conversations with other people. That comes in the form of taking action, getting off the couch, going and doing a thing. So if you've seen it in your mind, it is yours. Just like this remote that I use to make my screen a little fancier, a little brighter, a little darker. When I decide I want to make a change, I know it's capable. I pick up the rope action and I make a change. Hence, Karen, we saw that just now. We see that we can do things. So I manifested this remote because it was upstairs in my hotel, 7 floors up. And I wanted it before this call. So if I felt the lighting was off, I could change that. Now, I knew the remote was there. I had to go and take the action to change where it was to where I wanted it to be. We're catching this? Small example, but that's how everything works. So you must have an ability to see beyond our circumstances, our abilities and weaknesses, our tragedies, our regrets, our guilt, our shame from our past, and our fears about tomorrow. You must be able to develop a deep conviction that what you are fighting for, that what you are working for, that what you believe in is worthy, is for you, that you deserve it, that it's good for other people. Because a lot of people, again, think money is the root of all evil. No, money is just paper grown on trees that we printed dead presidents on who are not even running for campaign anymore. Hence, Karen, we agree. It's okay to have a lot of money because it is also potentiality, just like your ideas. The reason having a lot of money is super important is because as soon as you get a thing that you want, you will not want it anymore. And something else will creep up in its place. And so having money allows you to move through experiencing life a lot faster. Does this make sense? Anybody ever notice that? You see it with your kids. You give them a new toy and they're like, this is cool. I want the next one. Bring on the next one that's got shinier lights, or throw a box at them. Yeah, who's seen their kids with a giant box? Right? Man, that's the winner. They will break that box for you too. It'll just be around the house for about a week. Number 3, uncover deep emotions, truly deep emotions. We're not talking about the superficial stuff anymore. And in order to uncover deep emotions, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. The first question is, how have your emotions been affecting your faith? How have your emotions been affecting the things that you believe in? Your emotions. Have you experienced anxiety? Have you experienced fear, jealousy, thought of lack? Have you experienced feeling like you've been cheated upon or taken advantage of? Are you feeling like you're maybe depressed? It's another emotion. Have you ever felt that maybe things are not possible or overwhelming? Like, evaluate that. If that's an emotion you're feeling, then you're not going to take action in those emotions. Those emotions are very dark places, very difficult to do anything. Now, there's a other side of those emotions, really powerful emotions. These are things I learned from Dr. Terry Wager, his emotional intelligence training that he used to run. There is a whole other side of excitement, right? Oh my God, pride, right? They say pride comes before the fall. Shit, but you climbed first, didn't you? Let's go climb. We'll deal with the fall later. If we don't pay attention, pride could come before the fall. But if we're focused on pride and gratitude, right, powerful emotion and awareness, then there is no need for a fall, right? Like, that's just saying, like, hey, if you climb a tree, you're going to fall. There's a chance. Well, there's a chance. But if I climb the tree, I might also get the cat that's out of the tree. We're catching this? I might also get the apple up there, right? So am I going to stop doing great things just because there may be a fall on the other side? No. I'll dust myself off. I'll go back up that tree again. All right. I got things to prove. I got things to do. Number 2, who in your life needs you to deepen your faith, needs you to deepen your faith, so that you can help them navigate through their deep emotions. Who in your life needs you to deepen your faith so that they can navigate through their deep emotions? Remember, we're not the only ones in this game. This whole money thing is about our families, right? It's about our friends. It's about being able to support other people. For some of you, you're like me. You want to build a community and have a whole bunch of people out there doing some great things because you recognize you can. You recognize that, hey, whoa, God gave me this ability to talk. God gave me this ability to have a lot of money. And maybe I could actually do something even greater than just beyond myself. Remember what I was talking about earlier about money, millionaires. You can make a lot of money by yourself, 100,000 a year by yourself, unless you're in California like Manny, that's like pretty much everybody makes 100,000, or, you're broke. Yeah, 100's broke, right, Manny? It's not enough to get by. And so, right.
Yeah, 100,000 is actually just a bare minimum now. So, because everything is so freaking expensive here. So
yeah, you make 100,000 at McDonald's.
Way more than that.
I agree, brother. And it's not just New York, like not just California. New York is getting like this. Miami is getting like this. So our gauge for what money is not accurate. If you're believing 50 or 40 is okay, and maybe in your area, maybe where you're at, and it used to be okay for me too, because that's where I was at. But once I shifted and realized like all of this stuff is just how many people am I willing to commit to? That's all it is. How deep am I willing to commit? By the way, depth of faith falls in line with depth of conviction, depth of commitment to other people. You could commit to one person, but if you committed all the way and that person was a billionaire, you're going to be a billionaire. Does that make sense? Ask any billionaire how much his wife makes, right? We're seeing this. Depth of conviction, depth of commitment can go a very far way. Cultivating deep relationships. Actually, I jumped ahead. Here we go. So cultivating deep relationships. Number 4, for getting a steadiness of faith. Growing up, the relationships I tended to build were based on convenience. Maybe you were the same way. Having fun, encouraging each other to do whatever we wanted, and feeling no guilt about it. Anybody else grow up like that? It was just like, hey, whatever, we'll just do our thing. This was satisfying for a little while, but secretly I felt lonely and insecure and ashamed of how I was living. I knew I needed to change. In fact, we have people in the room here that I was speaking to last week. By the way, we're at Generator Biz Bootcamp here in Providence, Rhode Island, which is close to Boston. And we're hanging out with 40 of our alchemists in the room. They're not on the call right now because they're with Dr. Terry Wager. What is it, Dorina? 45. It's 45. Dorina says 45. So let's give Dorina a round of applause. She helped fill the room. She helps make sure these events happen. She made sure this hotel happened. And she makes sure that I'm on track with everything that I'm doing while we're traveling. So the people in that room, I was talking to a few of them. And one of the challenges, they were asking about how to raise capital. Who here would like to raise capital? A lot of money, a lot of money. Like in 1 week, you'd like to raise 150,000 in a week. That'd be cool, right? So I was asked that question yesterday. How do I raise 150,000 this week? And I told him, I said, well, you have to have a deep enough relationship with one person or 3 people or 4 people or 5 people, however low you're willing to go, a deep enough relationship and experience so that they trust you. And I told him, I said, like, how many people actually trust you? Could you call right now who would give you money? And he said, I don't know anybody who would have that kind of money. I thought, I bet you do. I bet you do know people that would have that kind of money, but you don't have a deep enough relationship where you feel comfortable asking them for that kind of money. And he said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, I know that you, and I used his name, but I'm not going to share you here. I said, I know that you, because names are important, by the way, they're very important. I know that you tend to have short relationships, shallow relationships. You don't ever want to commit to somebody because they might require you to do something. And so you want to just enough to kind of get in and get out and take, and then like you'll match, but you're not going to just give for the sake of giving because you believe that you don't have all this infinite energy that you keep giving. And he said, what? I don't believe that. That's not true. And I said, here's the other problem. Nobody knows that you invest in real estate. Nobody knows that you're the authority on real estate. He said, what do you mean? I said, I looked at your Facebook, man, and your Facebook doesn't say anything about real estate. I said, I could look at 10 posts and I guarantee you not all 10 are real estate related. And he said, well, no, I post about real estate. I was like, let's go right now. I pulled out the phone. I pulled up Facebook. And wouldn't you know, the first post is about, you got to believe in yourself, mindset. And I told him, I was like, dude, you haven't earned mindset yet. You can't talk about mindset posts until you've been successful in something. because mindset posts just make you seem weak unless you're successful. Does that make sense? We're grasping this. If you post a mindset stuff, but you got no proof of like your mindset stuff works, it just makes you seem like, wow, that's a really emotional child who's thinking about mindset stuff. Who here's ever posted one of those and they didn't get a lot of likes? They didn't get a lot of views. They were just like, what the hell? It's because they haven't seen your success yet. You must position mindset with success. When you have positioned your experience, who you are, with success, then mindset's like, aha, that makes sense. So I carried down through his posts and I was like, not real estate, 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 not real estate. And then one post, he's like, well, that's the 100 Millionaire Summit. That's the summit in October. Hits camera, by the way, if you're going to the 100 Millionaire Summit this year in October, hell yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be amazing. And it's going to be about real estate. And there's going to be a lot of millionaires in the room. Guess what? He didn't say anything about real estate in the post. So it's like you had all this opportunity. You know, you're going to be hanging with millionaires. You're going to be investing in real estate. There's going to be guys talking about how they own thousands of units. But you didn't put any of that in the post. All you said is, I'm going to this great success event. But you haven't had great success for anybody to want to model, for anybody to be like, wow, I should go there. Does this make sense? We're catching this. So he hadn't built the ability for people to trust him with money. And then all of his relationships are shallow. And by the way, when you're watching this later, if you end up watching this, I apologize for being so harsh at the time, but I hope it worked, because it's a effective requirement for you to look at yourself and go a little deeper in these relationships, right? Like, it's okay to feel insecure. It's okay to feel lonely, but you can change that by loving someone first. You don't have to, first you got to love yourself, right? The first person to love is right here, right? If you're feeling insecure, feeling lonely, if you're feeling like ashamed of the way you've treated people in the past, like, fall in love with yourself. Just a little forgiveness goes a long freaking way. Then I wake up every day, Dorita knows, I ask her in the morning, who do you love? And her first answer better be me. And I don't mean me, I mean her. She has to love herself. All right, her answer has to be, I love myself. Right, Dorina? Yes, exactly. So the first answer is, you love yourself. Like, who do you love? I love me. I wake up every day, I'm like, shit, this guy's fucking amazing. I love this guy. He's out there serving, he's out there breathing. Look at the way he breathes. Look how he flexed, right? He's out there getting his 100 Millionaire shirt on right now. That's powerful. This guy knows where he's going in life. I love everything about him. Even when he swears on camera, I'm like, I still like him, whatever. Like, we'll forgive. If you get what I'm talking about, that kind of level of love with yourself. Right, fall in love with you, right? If your hair is a little bald, if you're going a little gray, like, cool, awesome, style points, right? I used to think about it because I knew I was going to go bald one day, because my grandparents were bald, my dad was bald, my uncle was bald. I was like, shit, like, that's guaranteed. When I go bald, I'll be rich, right? I went bald at 28. I was bald before I was rich, but I knew the money was on the way because I was already bald. Hence, care if that makes sense, right? I was like, when I go bald, I'll be smarter, I'll be wiser, like, I'll be as cool, as loving, as caring as my parent, as my dad, as my uncle, as my grandfather, the nicest people in my life, right? The super most supportive people in my life. And it's just like, yeah, bald would be great. So each one of you has to fall in love with whatever you got going, right? I was hanging out with Mitch Jorsky today and he started like playing with his belly fat. And I was like, dude, fucking love it, bro. Right. I mean, it's not going to be there forever because you won't get rid of that. I know you're going to play basketball. I know you got to burn it off real quick, but love it for now, right? Be thankful and grateful for who you are today. Hence, Karen, if this is a fun experience, right? We're having a little fun here. All right. Experience deep love. Number 5, deep love. This is for steadfast of faith. These are the principles, requirements in order to do this. And who is feeling already a little more faith in what you're doing? Is anybody feeling a little more faith in like where you're going, what you're doing? You're like, it feels a little lighter. It's like, I'll do this, when shit comes my way. All right, deep love. Here are 2 questions that you can ask yourself to get started. The first is, what acts of superficial love do you take security in? Superficial love. Things like your spouse says, I love you, you say, I love you back. It's not really, kind of like, you basically begged for that one. It's not a real I love you, right? It's like, yeah, love you back. With Doreen and I, if I say I love you, she says, thank you. Listen to that. When I say I love you, she says, thank you. Lets it land. Lets it sit there. Now, obviously, she's not going to let me get one off on her without her eventually throwing a love you back to me, but she's not allowed to do it within that next couple of sentences. She's got to go and figure out a way to express love that isn't an immediate I love you too, right? If she says I love, we just don't do it, right? if one of us says, I love you too, that's like, whoa, wait, wake up. What's going on? Your subconscious mind just talked to me instead of you talking to me. Hence, Karen, if you grasp that, right? All right. So what kind of other forms of superficial love have been finding and taking security in? Superficial love, not real love. And then what can you do today to deepen the love with your friends? This is for people who are just, getting new to this. What can you do to deepen the love with your family, with your kids, with your spouse? What can you do to deepen the love with your friends? Just, ask the question to yourself. What is something you could do to deepen the love? Remember, these wealth principles, they're not designed to be easy. They're not designed to I mean, this one is, can be a little woo-woo, right? People watching this right now are like, dude, what the hell is he talking about faith for when he said it's a millionaire call? I apologize. Faith is required. If you don't believe in yourself, you won't get to the next level. I'm telling you right now, like if you don't have the absolute awareness that you are the greatest, that you are the only person who was given this mission to build the empire you're building, your very unique portfolio, your very unique business in your very unique location, it won't work, right? You have to know that you are the one. You have to know that you're here for a reason. You have to understand that there is nobody else who's going to show up and do it the way you would do it. There's nobody else going to make sure that the money goes into the businesses or the funds or the vacations or the colleges or the causes that you would put it in. Who here donates money? Who's anybody ever donated money or time to some sort of cause? Anybody else going to do that for you? No, I guarantee you they won't. I guarantee you, like if I have some speaking to do tomorrow, I'm doing this speaking right here. If I didn't show up, nobody would. There is nobody who would come out here and manifest these 52 weeks if I didn't write them down, if I didn't document. Now we are getting to the point where I could, at any point, ask any one of the 12 celebrity coaches, would you cover me this week? And it's if I have gotten to that point, yes. But do they do it the way I do it? It's just one of those things. Your special sauce. What you bring to your business. Now, I'm not saying do the work. What I am saying is do the work. Do the right thing, the right way, at the right time. Have the conversation with your team. Build a team. Inspire a team. Work with people. Share your business with others. Create space for them in your business. I've said this before. Believe that you're the one who is designed to create jobs, to create opportunities, to create deals out of nothing. Right? Most of what we do, the deals that we create, we created them. They were on the market or they were in front of other investors, but we came in with a little bit of a different angle and said, would you like this? I'm listening to your problems and I'm going to give you this solution because it matches. It looks the same. It looks like an actual fit. Whereas other investors are like, well, this is all I do. It's my little box. And this was their problem. Hence, Karen, if you can be a little different, you can provide for your clients, for the people who are looking for your support. Absolutely. A little differently. Now, there is a book of the week every week. Where is Michael Shine? Mike Shine, are you able to deliver this week's book of the week? Or are you still in transit picking up your little children, kiddos? He's in transit. All right. So the book of the week is The Wealthy Gardener. Is Mike here? Anybody ever read The Wealthy Gardener? Know anything about the book? Anybody? All right, Dorina, you're up. Go ahead. You are giving us, let's give Dorina a big round of applause. You never read it? You read the first chapter? I'll do it. Okay. Let's give Dorina a round of applause anyway. Awesome. Awesome. So The Wealthy Gardener is a book that was written by John Saforic. If you've never read it, I'm going to ask that everybody read it this week. I think that this book is one of Mike's favorites. And the reason he added it in was because it fits this principle, because it's not about just making money quickly. It's about doing the steps over and over, doing the little things, planting the garden and making sure that you show up every day. The Wealthy Gardener has impacted my life in such a positive way that I had no choice but to leave it into the 52 Weeks of Wealth. The book reveals revelational knowledge of lessons on prosperity through the use of fictional characters, along with the life stories of the author's own experiences. Through his use of the wealthy gardener's practical principles, I can say that with absolute certainty, I have, gained my own financial freedom. So this is, I'm just going to say it's fun, right? We'll make this probably one of the easiest books you've ever read. It's story, it's fun, but it's practical, kind of like Rich Man of Babylon, but not with all the old English language. We're getting that? I get so many people who've read The Rich Man of Babylon because it's one of my foundational 5, and they're just like, I don't understand why the words are so funny. I can't get focused. Anybody have that? They lost themselves a little bit. I love it because I read the Bible in Old King James like 3 times. So I grew up on this old English. So like going back to reading Rich Man of Babylon is a lot of fun for me. So The Wealthy Gardener, read it this week. It doesn't take long to read it. It's a fun one. Listen to Audible. That is the book of the week. The wealth principle for next week is Wealth Principle 28. Learn to love dealing with large amounts of money and the people who have it. This wealth principle is going to deal with an emotional issue inside of all of us where we get a little intimidated talking to rich people. We get a little scared to offer our services or expand our services to what they're asking for. Ask me how I know. I have my entire life reached up and recognized that they want more than I was ready and willing to give at the time. They want, like, rich people aren't looking to learn about stuff. They want full service, full done. Like, just where do I sign the check? You're going to accomplish the task. So we're going to talk about how to emotionally have more conversations with rich people. By the way, hands camera if you want more rich people in your life and have great conversations with them. Okay. You're going to have to fall in love with rich people. And I'm going to show you how to do that next week in Wealth Principle 28. Cheers to success. When you have a choice, always work with the best. And for everybody else, we'll stay on for a little while. I'll answer any questions. Let me stop recording so that Felly or Jem can edit this later. Unmute the mic. Dorina could bring people into the room. Let's open it up. And for everybody on TikTok and for everybody on Instagram, cheers to your success. We have a choice. Click the link in the bio. Come on, write a review, share something. Click the link in the bio. Go to the 30-day challenge. I want to see you in there. Don't be a little bitch. Awesome. Unmute your mics, guys. Let's go. First to unmute gets to ask a question. Remember, questions are where the money is.
Walter.
What's up, Thurman? Before I answer your question, Thurman, I see Natalia, I see Justin, Josh, Alicia, Victor, Elaine on the call, Desiree, Aleem, Joy, Deborah. I see Ron Bowling, Stephen Beaver, William, Felly, Jennifer, Brian, Dorina, and of course, Thurman. You're up, brother. I love each and every one of you. I love seeing your faces on the camera. So thank you. Go ahead, Thurman. What is your question this week?
Yeah. So before I get into the question, I just wanted to give you a personal thank you because my book got released yesterday. I sent you a message about it. I sent you the link too, just so you could see what it looked like, because I just wanted to show it as social proof for the value you bring to me, and you're freaking awesome, man. I love you. But anyway,
Thank you, brother. I'm gonna check it out. I'm at this 3-day event. I'm so engaged. I am going to check out your book. That is so cool. Let's give Thurman a big round of applause. Man, I love the hustle.
yeah.
Go ahead.
But yeah, so with the question, so I was saying because you mentioned develop deep convictions. And so one of the things I was probably thinking was, do you like constantly, I guess, reinforce that at some point with this principle or?
Absolutely. So convictions, like, they come from the word convict, right? Which is also the word convince. So which comes from the word convince. So the idea behind having a deep conviction is that you must convince yourself of a thing. You must deeply understand and believe that this thing is within you. So somebody who has a conviction is unstoppable, right? This is a person who could not be stopped, right? A convict is somebody who can't leave a building, right? Pretty much stuck in there. So think of it as convincing yourself over and over that this is the right thing. Having deep conviction in what you're doing is necessary to be successful, because there are going to be many people who come to you and say, oh, why would you do this? That's not important, or that's not worthy, or there's other things that you could do with your time. I'm told all the time, well, why don't you just take all your money and go feed the poor? And I have deep conviction that if I teach the poor, they'll become rich. But if I feed the poor, they'll still be poor. So that has to come from me, because there's so many other people who don't believe what I believe. And so that depth of faith, it has to be in you. You have to have that understanding. I know in this room, everybody's like, yeah, that's obvious. Look at me. I got richer because I do the things that you're doing, right? You're teaching instead of giving.
Exactly. Do what you
Right?
taught.
So in this room, you get it. You see it. But outside of this room, they just see this guy who's like talking about building millionaires. Well, give me $1 million. That would make me a millionaire. Yeah. What do I do for the next one? You want to keep building millions? The golden goose has to stay in the business in order to keep building millions. If I just gave it away, like, you're not going to reproduce for me. But I'll easily give $1 million to somebody who's going to produce another $1 million. Right? Like, shit. You're going to produce another $1 million when we partners. Like, sure, let's roll. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Well said, Thurman. Let's give Thurman a big round of applause. He's crushing it. And what is the title of your book, brother?
How to read 50 books in a year like a CEO.
Boom.
How to harness the treasure of books and become a more successful individual. So yeah,
I want everybody to read that book, because we got to read 52 books this year. So you take Thurman's principle and you add 2 to it, right? He's read Thurman. How many did you read? You read over 100 this year, right?
No, I'm in progress to hit 100 this year. I'm at 63 at the moment. And then yeah, because one of the reason I wrote the book, on, just not to get on a side tangent, but I read, the most I've read in a year is 75. The most I've read in a month is 33. And so people would be like, yo, how do you read so much? And so that's why I made it. And then also, like, just looking it up on Google, no one's had a book made on it yet, surprisingly. So I said, I'll be the first, and now it's out. So yeah, it's only on Amazon for right now.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Let's give Thurman one more big round of applause. Anybody who's got a question, a comment, a share. I love it, Thurman. I love seeing you take action on that, because everybody in this group is reading 52 weeks a year. There may be an easier way to do it. Go ahead. Alicia, you're up.
Yep. Can we put the name of that book on Alchemist Nation so we can all see it? Because some of us aren't in a place to take advantage at the moment.
I see you at the beach. Alicia, I bet you Thurman will make a post, maybe even write a little article and put the link to Amazon in that post. Thurman, can I count on you, brother? Of course I can. So you can go to Alchemist Nation probably in the next 5 minutes. Thurman's dropping it out there right now, right, Thurman?
Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll make an article on it. So I'll get that out for you guys.
Awesome. So you can go to alchemistnation.com, and I bet you it'll be one of the top articles. Alicia, what a great idea. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Dorina.
Yeah, so I have a question on behalf of Jennifer. So you know how we go through challenge and we working on our irresistible offer. So sometimes we do have some blocks, and that could be maybe a lack of faith or lack of complete love with yourself and believe in yourself. So how would you overcome that freedom of like, okay, here it is. This is my irresistible offer. I'm awesome. Here it is. Sign up. How do you overcome that, I guess, challenge of confidence and faith?
Awesome. I love it. So for everybody who hasn't heard of the Recession Proof Challenge, a lot of times we call it the 30-day challenge. So the Recession Proof Challenge is designed to make you recession proof. It's designed to get you 100 people in your network or outside of your network that will become your network, who are going to pay you or invest with you or send you deals or give you money. So the idea is that I had to figure out a way. There was a recession. So I said, how to become recession proof? Because it was the #1 Googled phrase on the internet. And I said, that's something I know. I understand recession. I've been dying for one my entire career since 2008, just waiting for the next recession, preparing myself, becoming recession proof, seeking out the answers. And so when I saw this word showing up on Google, I said, I've got to create a recession-proof challenge. I've got to create a way for people to become recession-proof. And Jennifer Sullivan jumped in it. In fact, many of the people on this call are in the recession-proof challenge. Give yourselves a round of applause. You are becoming recession-proof. And the way we're doing it is that we're going through and we're connecting with 10 people per day who are our avatars. We went over the avatar on day one. We figured out who was the person who would give us all the money. What do they look like? What do they earn? So Jen, thinking back to that person, right? Going back to their emotional state And then day 2, we focused on, and I don't want to give too much of it away, because if I say what we do, people will think, oh my God, it's impossible to do that in just 5 days. And we got 30 days left, but it's not, because we do it just enough to get it done. We're not aiming for perfect. We want done. Every day is done. So if it takes more than 30 minutes or an hour, you're over perfecting it, which means it's not going to happen. And you're going to get stressed, and then the challenge will just not work for you. So we just do it. We just effortlessly create results for ourselves. 10 contacts a day, ideal avatar. 4, go into our database. Yes, we have a database, because we must track these 100 people. And 100 people, if you ever tried to do it, they don't even put 100 cards in a deck of cards. Put 52. It's a lot easier to track all those kings and queens if there's only 52 of them. Imagine you double that. That's a lot of relationships. If you ever worked with 2 decks of cards, that's what we're doing relationship-wise. So having a CRM to hold them all in there. And then we talked about our perfect offer, our irresistible offer on day 2. After we talked about our brand, so we talked about our avatar day 1, then we talked about our brand, because our avatar is only going to be attracted to us if we look a certain way, like they're expecting us to look. And so we create a brand that looks like what our avatar is going to face and be seeking. And then on day 3, we talked about our irresistible offer. This is the no-brainer offer. I put it in front of you and just like, sign me up now, yesterday, please take my money. I don't care how much it is. And that's the idea behind it. Like, I did it with the 30-day challenge. I made it $97. People are just like, yeah, sign me up. I said recession proof in the middle of a recession. Like, come on, like, shit, I need that now. Hands scan if you recognize, like, that's an irresistible offer. And I said, I'll give you your money back if I can't make you $97. If I made it only $97, right? So I had a guarantee. I made it very safe. So here's a secret. You must believe, Jen, that it is the solution to this avatar. You must genuinely in your soul believe that. And now a lot of, like, a trick to do that, like for me when I was a real estate agent selling real estate investments, I owned a lot of real estate investments. I had a lot of cash flow coming in. So I was like, dude, you got to buy. You must buy. Like, if you don't buy, you're going to be a loser, a broke person, somebody who doesn't have money, somebody who doesn't have options or freedom. Look at me do whatever I want on a Friday. Look at me do whatever I want on a Tuesday. Like, you need to buy real estate so you can be like me, right? So I had a genuine hardcore belief. That's why I sell financial freedom. That's why I sell building millionaires right now. That's what I'm selling. I'm saying you should go build millionaires. I think you should, because I'm building millionaires. I'm getting richer. I'm getting happier. I'm having the coolest experiences of my life. I think you should do the same thing. So Jen, when you're putting your offer together, and this goes to everybody, when you're putting your irresistible offer together, that is a tactical step. When you're presenting it in front of somebody, which we're going to talk about, actually probably today's challenge is getting a little closer to that, is driving traffic. I don't want to give too much of it away. So mission 6 is coming today at 1. This idea of speaking to another person and offering something comes because you know it's necessary. It must happen because they need it. They need you to do it. If you didn't do it, who would? If I wasn't running this recession-proof challenge, was somebody else going to do this for you? Like, was somebody else going to put this together? Was somebody else going to teach you how to create a irresistible offer? Like, it's out there. The information's out there, but it's not in the right order. It's just not happening. So, like, I know it had to be done. It had to be created. Otherwise, a bunch of people not there. There's, Darina, how many people in the recession-proof challenge? Are we at 50 something now? 60 people in the recession-proof challenge. 60 souls who are seeking to be recession-proof. And Scammer, if you recognize the value. Oh, 66. Darina says 66. I'm sorry. Good job, Darina. So, Jen, when you are presenting your irresistible offer to an author, you have to ask, what do they want? Hands to the camera if you're a speaker, or you know you'd make more money from speaking to 100 people at once. If you had 100 people you could share your offer in front of, would you get more sales than just one person? Hands to the camera if that'd be true for you. Any one of you, right? Real estate investors. Where my real estate investors at? Imagine you had a room full of 100 motivated sellers. You know, they were there because they're depressed. They just went through a death or a divorce, or they're in denial about the condition of their house. So you get a room full of 100 motivated sellers. Imagine if you go up there and say, I will buy your house cash and you don't have to fix anything. And I'll close in 30 days, 100 days, whenever you want to close. Wouldn't that be a better opportunity than trying to door knock, 100 doors? So, Jen, it goes the same way. You've got to know that there's a room of people out there that want that information, that are just like, it's just a cluster. Your avatar is sitting out there, and know that their desire is to be on stage. They want to be on stage because they want to sell their product to way more people than it would if they, had to go one by one by one by one by one by. Has anybody done the one by one? Anybody done the one by one? Yeah. Does anybody want to get a stage now with your perfect avatar in front of it? Anybody? Like after saying that, anybody want to be in front of 100 people and just be like, "Yo, buy my shit, like buy my amazing thing." I'm sorry. So here's one thing that you're presenting to an author. I can get you on more stages. I can get you on more podcasts. Because when you write a book, you become the authority on the subject. It's better than a master's degree, better than a doctor's degree. You are now the published author. And when you're a best-selling published author, right? Like myself, like Natalia, like Mike, like Mitch, like Ryan, like all these coaches who are writing books, and they've written books. They're celebrity coaches, right? These are celebrities who have written books. They're the author, the expert on the subject. So now they're getting expertise. They're becoming the expert, so they can hand a book to somebody, and that person they're talking to is going to be like, "Oh my God, like this person's better than anybody else who walks in here." Like if you wrote the book on how to sell your home to an investor, hence Karen, if you know, that would be like a mind-blowingly valuable book. How to sell your home to an investor, how to prepare your home to sell to an investor, how to sell your house fast to an investor, like a book like that. In fact, I know these books exist. There's investors writing them all the time. Makes a lot of sense. They don't care about putting them out on Amazon to sell people. They take them, they print them, they drop them off at a seller's house. And then the seller's like, any other investor who comes to me is not getting my business, because this guy taught me how to handle those investors. Does that make sense? Or how to prepare myself for those investors. Now, I got a buddy, Brant Phillips, wrote the book, Private Money Playbook. And that book raises a bunch of private money for him because he teaches private investors how to raise capital, like how to evaluate a deal, how to evaluate a borrower. So the Private Money Playbook like made him the authority on lending private money. So he has a ton of private money and he shares that with people. So Jen, you're creating the opportunity for a person to be an expert, which means their income's going to increase if they use it. You're allowing them to get on stages, which means they're instantly, if they're on a stage, you're going to have a bigger audience they can sell to. And you're allowing them to have an action space on Amazon. My books being on Amazon means I'm an Amazon content creator now. They allow me to put my blog out there. They allow me to put my podcast out there. They allow me to put my podcast on Audible because I wrote a book. They allow me to create content and distribute information. I could do any kind of content on Amazon live because I'm a content creator, because I wrote a book. Hence, came to recognize that's a whole other social media platform you don't have access to until you're an author. Absolutely. And it's the biggest paying one, the one where they see you and they buy your stuff because they saw you, right? They see one of your videos and they're like, click buy book. By the way, go buy Broke to $250,000 on Amazon and write a review. If you haven't written a review already, I'm trying to get to 100, not trying, wow, terrible manifestation. I am looking to get to 100 reviews on Broke to $250,000. So if you haven't written one yet, I deeply, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for writing a review. And if you haven't joined the 30-day recession-proof challenge, then I deeply about being recession-proof and who got you there, because it's all about building raving fans, people who are like, yeah, I learned half of this stuff or all this stuff in 30 days because this guy figured out a way to teach it in 30 days. And I applied all of it in 30 days. And this is how I did it. And it's only $97. So you're an idiot if you don't do it, right? Call your friends dumb if they don't pay for things. That makes sense. Jen, then you must fall in love with your clients. You must care enough about them and their success in order to offer them your irresistible offer, right? You ghostwrite. So they don't have to, you're not like one of those people who's like, I'll teach you how to write a book. You're like, I'll teach you how to write a book and then I'll write the book for you. You have a done for you product. I've written 3 books and I'm thankful for the ghostwriters who operate on, you helped me out with Get the Deal. I'm thankful for the ghostwriters who operate on those books because, man, it would be time consuming if I had to do it myself. I'm a very busy entrepreneur. Well, shit, I'm very productive. I do a lot of things. I get a lot of things done. I aim not to be busy. Thankfully, Jen is productive. Jen, does that help? Like understanding, like you've got to love your clients. You got to know the offer. Like the thing is important. Like Jen, wouldn't you love to have somebody ghostwrite your book that you're looking to build right now? Wouldn't that be amazing?
As a writer, I kind of want to write it myself.
But you want it done
But
now,
yes,
right? You want it
I
done
want it
already.
done. I want it done. Yes.
Yeah. So you can understand the emotion of, I want it done already.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all that is. You know, understand that these guys want it done already, but they don't want to write it themselves. They don't have that writer's block, the writer's problem of, I have to do it myself. They're past that. They just want it done. They want it to sound like them, look like them, talk like them, be effective like them, but they don't want to be doing it themselves. They don't want to be them. So that help, Jen? Was that valuable, going through kind of the process of an actual business, like how creating that steadfast of faith behind a product is actually possible? Awesome. Desiree, I see your hand up, girl. Go ahead. And it's
Hi,
probably the last question because I do have to jump in.
I'll be brief. So I have a property that I've been looking at, and I know it's abandoned. I've written to the absentee owners, and I've also talked to some of the neighbors in the neighborhood. So I actually went up to the home, took pictures of the tax lien letters that came from the city. And I'm now like stuck at how do I go further? I mean, I'm trying to find out where, because the letter that I sent to them, it was returned to me unopened. So I don't know how to get in touch with these owners to find out if I can purchase that property from them.
So Desiree, what you're saying is the letter didn't get there. So you didn't send a letter. What you sent out was sonar.
Okay.
You sent a little something out, it bounced back. And so now you're aware that they're not living at that property either. I would hire a private detective at this point. If you have the funds, let me be careful saying this. Don't
Okay.
just go out hiring private detectives. It costs like $1,500, $2,000. If you have the funds and you have the faith that you can close on that property no matter what, and that, you know, it will make sense, that's at the point where it would make sense, right? If you can't catch them, if you can't find them, just hire a retired officer or a private detective. It's usually what a private detective is. They're usually old police officers, and ask them to go out there and find that person for you.
Okay. Because the neighbor told me that it was an older lady that lived there. Her children moved her out of the house, and you can tell that the grass is high. So that's why they keep putting the letters on the door that, they're going to come out and cut the grass, but they've now put a tax lien on the property. So somebody's paying the taxes on the property. I just don't
Here's
know.
the deal. You can either get a private detective or go do some of the digging yourself. Like find out what their last name is, like find out who their family is, like go to, I think it's Spookio or like White Pages, and you can get like all the family members, all the relationships that are connected to that person, and just download the phone numbers, throw them in a, skip trace. They're already skip trace, throw them into a CRM, like you use Alchemist Connect's auto dialer, and just auto dial through the 50 numbers, 100 numbers, and just be like, hey, do you know Auntie Sue? Do you know Uncle Sue? Do you know like Grandpa Sue, whatever.
Okay, great. Thank you for that.
Hell yeah. Desiree, you're very welcome. We appreciate you. Let's give Desiree a round of applause. Give Jen Sullivan a round of applause. Great questions. And then Thurman's got his book out. Go to alchemiststation.com. Check it out. If you haven't already registered, make sure you're registered for the 100 Millionaire Summit. We're less than 75 days away. We're coming to the summit. If you're not already in a recession-proof challenge, I will throw a ticket in. So if you buy into the 30-day challenge, a recession-proof challenge, I will give you a ticket to the 100 Millionaire Summit. It is a general ticket. So if you're looking for that VIP ticket, you're looking for that team building stuff, well, then you're going to have to go and pay for the enchilada, the whole enchilada. I see Roger Andrews is on here. Roger, good to see you, brother. Drive safe, man. I see you building. Victor, Alicia, Roland, Jordan, Frank, Yolanda, Thurban, Desiree, Victor. Vinny Chopra's coming. He's jumping in right now. You letting him in the room? I was going to jump off. Hey, it's Cam, if you want to stick around a little longer while Vinny Chopra's jumping in. Yeah?
Oh,
you guys want to hear a billionaire? There he is. Vinny, you guys share a little knowledge on steadiness of faith. How does someone stay faithful to their goals?
Oh my gosh. Thank you, everybody. I just jumped in. I live near San Francisco. So I usually start walking about 8 o'clock. But on Saturdays, I try to do a little early to jump in. Being hopeful. I think if I may talk about that, what has happened in my life, I have been hopeful of the things that will happen. they didn't happen, but I was very, 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 very hopeful. Hope and hard work have to go together. They both have to go together. You just cannot be just hoping for doing this, hoping for doing that, but you got to put concrete work. I say concrete because many times we are not putting the really smart work into our business. We are just doing things that don't bring results, if I may say that. So we need to really sit down and look at what are 3 activities that we need to do every day so that we can get results. See, all of us have heard about Pareto principle, 80-20 principle. What that means is that you are able to accomplish 80% of the results for a day by doing only 20% of the activity. Just 20%. But what is that activity on a daily basis, 20%, that's going to get us near to our goal? So I think that's just a couple of words from me. I know the time is about 8 over there. Yeah.
Let's give the great, the legend, the myth, Vinny Chopra a round of applause. If you like Vinny's positivity, you got to hang out with us on Thursdays. But if you want to see Vinny, you want to feel that positivity in the person, in the flesh, in real life, you've got to be at the 100 Millionaire Summit this year. Vinny Chopra will be opening us up. He's one of our big acts at the 100 Millionaire Summit. He'll be sharing his mindset for abundance. Profitability brings positivity brings profitability. And he asked us, like, can I bring one of my books? And he has the book Apartment Syndication Made Easy, and he has Positivity Brings Profitability. And Doreen and I said, yeah, like, definitely bring one of your books. And so he may be bringing a limited supply of books to hand out and sign. Hands to the camera if that alone is a reason to be at the 100 Millionaire Summit, for sure. Vinny, I don't know if you can see it on your phone, but there are a lot of hands raised right now.
Oh my gosh, I'm humbled. I'm really humbled, guys. I really am. I'm a guy who lived in India in 1-bedroom apartment with 6 siblings and parents. So 8 of us lived in 1-bedroom apartment, brother. And, I've had humble beginnings, but it's about hard work, about having faith, having, positivity. That's what I talk about in that book also, because it didn't really deter me, because I didn't have any extra means. I came into this country with $7 in my pocket, but I was able to do very, very, with all the hard work, right? With all the hard work, things happened for me. But no, I look forward to seeing many of you. Yeah.
Vinny, when you say hard work, I assume you're pointing to your head, right? Getting the junk out of the head, getting that thing fixed up.
No, totally. It's not what we know. It's how much we use of what we know. It's not going to seminars. It's not reading the books or listening to podcasts. It's looking at our business every week, every day, actually, to see, am I reaching the best potential? Am I doing the right things to get me to that point, point B? I'm really into goal setting, definitely. But attitude, what really happens in the brain and the thoughts and the attitude, that gets us to do the things. So we got to really focus our mind for the results. And if we are not getting results, we need to look back and see, what did I do to get those kind of results? If we are not happy with those results, insanity is, the definition of insanity is to keep on repeating the same thing over and over and over and over and over, but expect different results. And that doesn't happen. That does not happen, brothers and sisters. Yeah, it does not. It's all in the mindset. You've got to believe. Without even achieving anything, you got to believe that you can achieve. If you do 100%. This, if you believe in your mind, you are there. Guess what? You will get there. But if you don't believe in your mind, that you can even have a shot at getting there, then it's 100%, 1000%, you will not get there.
Hands to the camera if this is some valuable reminder from a billionaire, somebody who I know, Vinny, will be a billionaire in the next year or two. I see where you're going with it, brother. He owns over almost $800 million worth of real estate with his partners. And like you've seen here, every time he jumps in, he's got an abundant mindset, a big heart to help and serve. He's 70 years old and he's still giving back.
Yes.
Look at it.
August
He's doing the miracle
27th.
morning. He does it every day.
Every day, 7 days a week, brother. And that's my best time with myself, talking to people, doing some meetings with my team members, presidents, vice presidents in my companies. But the thing is, you got to really, really get up, show up. When we get up in the morning, many of us are dead. What do I mean by that? You know, we say, why this morning? But what we need to do is to really wake up with excitement and passion and everything. Today I got up this morning, just to not brag about it, 2 o'clock in the morning, literally. And then I did some things, you know, did some emails and all that. Then I went back to bed at about 3:30. So I was able to accomplish a few things which were on my mind. And then you could do that. You can really, really, really do that. You know, everybody's got same amount of time, but how we utilize it, it's so very important. It's so very important.
Thank you so much, Vinny. Let's give Vinny Chopra a big round of applause. He's Vinny Smile Chopra. He'll be, again, speaking at the 100 Millionaire Summit. And for all of our VIP members, those who bought the tickets VIP style, he's going to be having dinner with us on Thursday night. So we'll be paying for the dinner. We're going to be taking you out with our coaches, and Vinny's going to actually be joining us, sitting there with us with his wife. So you'll be able to ask questions and share what you're doing or working on. But here's what I'll tell you. When you're hanging around Vinny Chopra, somebody who's raised over $300 million of other people's money, who's acquired over $800 million worth of real estate, don't talk about yourself. Just ask him questions and just listen, because he's going to give you something valuable. So everybody who's bought the VIP tickets, let's give Vinny a big round of applause for making that just an amazing experience, amazing opportunity for everybody who's going to be at that table. And for everybody who's obviously bought the VIP tickets, I will be teaching all Thursday on how to build your team, on how to scale up, on how to create that culture so that they work without you. For everyone who's questioning whether faith is impossible, whoever started this call thinking, wow, faith's not important for business, I know now that you are 100% convinced. You know, you had me, you had some great knowledge, then you had Vinny, who's got great experience in being steadfast with his faith in himself and his business and his family and what he's creating, the good he's putting out into the world. We're on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. And Vinny Chopra has asked, can we build 1 million millionaires? Well, it starts with you. It starts with that first 100. So cheers to your success. When you have a choice, always work with the best. Click the link in the bio. Share, like, subscribe, and go and do a Facebook Live about your take on the power of faith, on how important faith is in your business, in your life. Cheers to success. See you guys on the next one. Love each and every one of you. Thank you, Vinny. I'll see you next week, brother.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. God bless you all.